Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Good evening and a very warm welcome to everyone. I welcome you all to session 2 of Weekend with Wisdom, wherein Swami Satyabratananda Saraswati ji is speaking on the topic Bhagavad Gita Grantha Granthi Shlokas. In the morning, Swami ji expounded on a famous shloka from Bhagavad Gita and gave us a thorough insight into it and spoke on many other subsequent topics on Advaita. Swami ji, welcome you again. Please start your session. Viewers, if you have any question, please post them in Q&A box. Swami ji will be taking up towards the end of the session. Swami ji, please go ahead.
Thank you. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusamdadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. We are seeing the Grantha Granthi Shlokas of Mahabharata and especially from Bhagavad Gita. Morning session we saw Nasato Vidyate Bhavaha Nabhavo Vidyate Sataha Ubhayorapi Drishtam Taha Anayos Tattva Darshibihi. These Grantha Granthi Shlokas are 8,800 verses. But in Bhagavad Gita, 5 shlokas are there. One shloka we completed. Now second shloka we are going to enter. I said Bhagavad Gita Tvampada Vichara was done in the first Shatkam of Bhagavad Gita. From first chapter to sixth chapter. In this Tvampada Vichara, the enquiry into individual nature. While talking about the individual nature, Lord Krishna introduced the nature of Atma. The nature of Atma, he started in second chapter, 11th verse onwards. And up to 25th verse, he gave the description of Atma, the features of Atma, the nature of Atma. Atma Satyaha, that is presented in Nasato Vidyate Bhava. Atma is Satyaha, it is the truth, reality of this universe, existence principle. We know that Bhagavad Gita is nothing but the teaching of Upanishads only. This Bhagavad Gita is not separate from Upanishads. But Upanishads are little bit more tougher than Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is easier than Upanishads. But the teaching is same. Prasthanatrayam, the entire teaching is what? Fundamental teaching, I said in the morning session. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. This is the fundamental teaching. Whatever prakriyas, methodology you use, all these are going to ultimately arrive at this truth. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Brahman happens to be Atma. Atma alone is Satyam. Atma alone is eternal. Atma is indivisible. Atma is one, non-dual, Advayaha, Akhandaha, unobjectifiable. Like that, so many features are there for Atma. And that Atma happens to be my real nature. That is the important point we have to note. First, we have to know what is the nature of Atma. Then, this Jagat, this world body mind complex is Anatma, Asat, Mithya, seemingly real. And this seemingly real body mind complex, Mithya nature, it is Asat, impermanently existing principle. Impermanently existing principle, I said. After this teaching, Jagat Mithya, unreal, I, the Atma, am Satyam. So I have to arrive at, when Guru says, Tat Tvam Asi, you are that Brahman, what Shishya has to say, Shishya has to claim, not just saying, but claiming. Claiming is what? Aham Brahma Asmi. Aham Brahma eva asmi. Nothing else. I cannot be other than Brahman. Why? Why not this body, mind, Purushaha, Stri? Why not? They are not there really. Remember our good old example, pot example. Pot is not there. It is only an appearance. So pot is very useful for us, for Vedantins. Dayananda Swamiji always says this pot is very useful for Vedantins because Acharya Shankaracharya used many times Ghatavat, Ghatavat. It's like a pot. How this is like a pot? No, morning Karya Karanam, that we saw that Prakriya, Karanam, Karyam, cause effect relation and all we introduce and we negate the Karanatma status. Therefore, we falsify the Mithya Jagat, Nama Rupa. They are only appearance. Vyavaharika Satyam. I am the Paramarthika Satyam. I, the Paramarthika Satyam Atma, am all-pervading, non-dual. This teaching, when a person receives, he becomes a Jnani. Not becoming a Jnani, he recognizes that his nature and he drops, his ignorance goes away. He becomes a wise person. Become a wise person. That wise person alone is called Sthita Prajnaha in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Once the Atman nature is understood as oneself, I am alone Sat, I am alone is Chit, I am alone is Ananda. That is my true nature, real nature. This is my Upadhi, Shariram, body, mind, three bodies, Panchakoshas are only Upadhi for me, the Atma, to manifest. For me, the Atma to manifest. Then I become Sopadhikam Brahma. When I am talking to you, I am a Sopadhikam Brahma. Because Nirupadhikam Brahma cannot talk. Nirupadhikam Brahma, Ashabdam Asparsham, Apanipadam, Vak is not there, speech is not there, nothing is there. Therefore, it is a privilege. It's a great privilege. This body is a great privilege. Mind is a great privilege for me, the Atma, to manifest in the Upadhi, Sopadhikataya. This knowledge, when it comes, that person becomes a Sthita Prajnaha. Then Arjuna want to know how that Jnani. People talk about that Jnani. What is the description of that Jnani? From 54th verse, Arjuna's question begins. Then Lord Krishna starts from 55th verse up to the end of second chapter, nearly 18 verses. 18 verses he talks about that Jnani's characteristics. Jnani Lakshanani, Sthita Prajnasya Lakshanani. Very important portion in Bhagavad Gita. That's why Sankhya Yoga is very, very important. Two important Grandhi slokas comes in second chapter itself. In this Sthita Prajna Lakshanas, when he is going to talk, That sloka is 69th sloka is the Grandhi sloka. Yanisha Sarvabhutanam. That sloka we are going to see today. Hmm? Before that, the question we have to understand properly. What is the question asked by Arjuna? Not one question, many questions he asks. In 54th verse, he asks, Arjuna uvacha स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्तस्य केशव स्थितधिः किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्. For this shloka only, all other 18 verses. Therefore, learn to by heart first. Puja Swamiji says always, fake it and make it. First go on chanting by heart these shlokas. Every day you chant, one day you will become Sthita Prajna. There is no doubt in that. Fake it and make it. What you think, so you become later. So everyone, every day, especially the seekers of moksha, should chant these slokas and look into the meaning, contemplation. Very good. Why? Yani sthitaprajnasya lakshanani tani mumukshoho sadhanani is the sentence. What are the characteristics of that sthita prajna? They are that becomes yani sthita prajnasya lakshanan. Tani, those lakshanams, those characteristics of a jnani, they will help mumukshoho sadhanani. For a seeker of moksha, they will help this person as sadhanas. Means, I'll repeat once again, this sentence is very important. Yani sthitaprajnasya lakshanani tani mumukshoho sadhanani. Remember this and contemplate on these verses. After understanding the meaning, you have to contemplate. Okay. So now the Arjuna's question, 1, 2, 3 questions are there. 4 questions are there in this sloka itself. हे केशव का भाषा स्थितप्रज्ञस्य समाधिस्तस्य. First I will give simple meaning of this shloka and we will go to the next 69th verse. का भाषा स्थितप्रज्ञस्य समाधिस्तस्य. Now this samadhistasya means not yoga samadhi. It is not yoga samadhi. Because in Bhagavad Gita itself, in many places Samadhi word comes. Even in this chapter itself, 44th verse, Samadhi word comes. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam tayapahrita chetasam. That sloka, in the second line, Lord Krishna says, Vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyate. Samadhi word comes there. What is the meaning of samadhi there? Antahkaranam, mind. But what is the meaning of samadhi here? Here samadhi means it is not antahkaranam, it is not mind. We have to understand here the one who is established in the self. Samadhisthaha. Samadhistasya, sixth case. Samadhisthaha, not one who is absorbed in samadhi, yoga samadhi. No, not that meaning at all. This meaning is samadhistasya, who is established in the self. One who is having clear knowledge, doubtless knowledge. Sthita prajnasya. Arjuna asked that question. Sthita prajnasya. Sthita prajna means a person of doubtless knowledge. Doubtful knowledge is as good as ignorance. Therefore, sthita prajnasya means here, it is a very important loaded word. Sthita prajnaha means a lot of definitions are given by many commentators. We can see that sthita prajnaha, a person of doubtless knowledge, a person of clear knowledge. That is the meaning. Sthita Dihi means the person of clear knowledge. Sthita Prajnaha means a person of the doubtless knowledge. Sthita Dihi, clear knowledge. Both are one in the same. Spashtam is clear knowledge, like crystal clear. Samadhistasya, one who abide in that Atman. Samadhistasya, sthita prajnasya, ka bhasha. What is the description about him? So samadhi means here the one who remain in the aham brahmasmi akhandakara vritti, and the one who abides in that atma swarupam after understanding clearly, after mithyatma nischayam of this jagat, after understanding that 16th verse properly and claiming that I am Brahman. About that jnani, what is the description? Ka bhasha. Now he raised the question. Kim sthitadihi prabhasheta samadhistasya kim sthitadihi prabhasheta. And here kim, all kim you have to convert into katham. Kim means what? Katham means how. So kim you should not take literally here. How does he, the wise person, speak? Prabhasheta. How does the wise person speak? How does the wise person sit? How does the wise person walk? Vrajeta. Katham vrajeta, katham asita, katham prabhasheta. Who sthitadihi. Sthita prajnasya samadhistasya bhasha, description. Like this. You should not take literally. Jnani, how he walks fast, or he walks slowly, or he sit on big asanam, or he sit on the floor. How he sit in padmasanam, or he sit in normal posture. That's not the meaning here. Literal meaning we should not take. Prabhasheta, Katham Prabhasheta, in which language he will talk, whether he talks or not. All these literally don't take. Okay. Just overall his behavior, not external, especially internal. That is the idea here. And automatically internal knowledge, that knowledge expressed in outer level also, in speaking, in movements, that all will come, but they differ. But in knowledge there is no difference. Person to person it differs. Puja Swamiji says even Jnani, he loves idli, he goes for idli. No? In camps and all, we have different places. One Swami likes parota, another Swami likes South Indian idli, dosa. Different preferences possible. One Jnani talks, one Jnani gives lectures, another Jnani writes. One Jnani won't give lectures at all, won't write also, sit quietly. So it depends. We should not consider, there are some books, some people, they are asking me also. What Jnani means, he will never talk. Once they get Jnanam, they won't talk. Varaha Variyan Varishtaha, they stop talking. That is the indication of Jnanam they are telling. What to say for them? Unfortunate thing, people have a lot of misconceptions about Jnani's bhasha, description, his behavior, talking, everything. We should not take literally everything. What Krishna said is pramanam for us. Okay? Here what Krishna said from 55th verse up to 72, these are all we can remember in our mind, and proper understanding is also very important. Otherwise, each word has got different meanings. Proper meaning we have to take, proper interpretation we have to take, otherwise it will confuse. And we get confused and we confuse others also. Better not to confuse. After this, Lord Krishna start with Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanugatan. From there, he goes on and on and on about the description of a Jnani. Yanisha Sarvabhutanam. Now we'll come to this sloka, Yanisha Sarvabhutanam. Very, very ticklish sloka and mind-boggling sloka. Words. First, I will introduce this sloka. Just straight meaning I'll give. Then we'll go into the exact analysis. Now let us have three pairs. First, I will introduce them, then we can understand easily. First pair, Jnani and Ajnani. First pair. Jnani is taken as a human being here, human being. And Ajnani is compared to a owl. That means Nishachara. The birds and beings who walk in the who move in the night. They move in the night. That is owl, bat, etc. They all compared to Ajnani is compared to them. Why? They all move in the night. Ajnani compared to that Nishachara, nocturnal beings, which moves in the night. And Jnani compared to a human being here, just taken, just. Then second pair is Dvaitam and Advaitam. Dvaitam is compared to here Ratri. Ratri Dvaitam. You have to take the Dvaitam dash Ratri. Night, Nisha. Nisha word is used in the sloka. Then after introducing these words, I will read the sloka. Advaitam is daytime, daylight, sunlight, daytime. And this is one pair, Dvaitam, Advaitam. Dvaitam means Ratri, here in this context, Nisha, like Advaitam is like daytime. Then third pair, Ratri represents ignorance, Ajnana. Ratri or Nisha, darkness, represents Ajnanam. This is third pair, Ajnanam. And daytime represents Jnanam. So these 6 words, if you remember, further what I am going to talk will be clear. So Jnani, Ajnani, Dvaitam, Advaitam, day and night. Ratri means night, daytime, like that. Then this night is compared to Ajnana. Daytime is compared to Jnana. Then only you can understand this sloka, otherwise it is more confusing. So these words keep in your mind. Then I'll give you the meaning, word to word meaning, then we'll go to that analysis. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. This is the shloka. Now samyami, first I'll give word to word meaning. Samyami means the sage. Then Jagarti is awake. Jagarti means awake. Who has woken up to his real nature, Jagarti. Who has woken up from what? Ajnana Nidra. Woken up to his real nature or her real nature. So Sanyami Jagarti Tasyam Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam. Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagarti Samyami. Ya Nisha, which is night. Sarva Bhutanam, for all beings. For all beings means ignorant people. Sarva Bhutanam, for all beings, which is night. Ya Nisha. Ignorant people, for all ignorant people, which is a night like, that is Advaitam Ityartha. That meaning later I will give you. Hmm? To that person who knows self, he is awake to that Advaita Tattvam, which is like Nisha, darkness for other people, for ignorant people. This is the first line meaning. Then second line, Pashyataha munehi. Sa nisha pashyataha munehi yasyam jagrati bhutani. Second line. Sa nisha. See, pashyataha munehi, for the wise sage. Manute iti munihi. Manute janati yaha. Who knows Ishvara, what is Dharma, what is Satyam, what is Asatyam, everything he knows. What is Atma, what is Anatma, who knows, that person is called Munihi. Munihi Pashyataha. For the wise sage, Pashyataha means, don't take literally. Pashyataha means the one who, Parpavan, in Tamil they say Parpavan, the one who has got a knowledge, self-knowledge. Sa Nisha, that world of duality. Nisha means world of duality or Dvaitam. Sa Nisha. Swapnatulyaha. Swapnatulyaha, for Muni, it is like a dream. That duality, that world, Mithya Prapancham, that which is having a destructive nature, it that world is Advaitam, is Dvaitam is a Nisha for him, in which Yasyam Bhutani Jagrati, in which all these ignorant people are awake, to which, or with regard to which Dvaitam, all ignorant people, beings are awake, Jagrati. Punya, Papa, Karma, in all those they are very much active. Dvaita Prapancha. A wise person is awake to Advaita Tattvam. Advaita Tattvam is darkness for ignorant people. Okay, this is just meaning. Now we'll go to the further analysis of these words. First, Yanisha Sarva Bhutanam. This is in-depth meaning we are going to see now. The wise who is free and the ignorant who is bound. They're all, both are diagonally opposite. Diagonally opposite. Yanisha Sarva Bhutanam. Ya means here Advaita Tattvam. Advaita Tattvam. Nisha, night, darkness. Literal meaning of Nisha is night, darkness. But in this context, Nisha, darkness means Advaita Tattvam. To all ignorant people, it is like darkness. It is like darkness means what? Darkness is that which makes our sense organs dysfunction. They cannot function. In whose presence sense organs won't function. That is called darkness. Little aside point. Okay. That aside point is this. We say, let us see what is darkness. Darkness is nothing but darkness. What is there? But Vedanta gives a different meaning. What we say darkness means andhakara. Darkness, we don't see anything. That is called darkness. How do you know now? I see darkness. I see darkness. But really speaking, Vedanta says you don't see darkness. You cannot see darkness. What you are telling, I'm perceiving darkness, really speaking, you are not perceiving darkness. In the presence of darkness, your eyes are blind. In the presence of darkness, your eyes are blind. Therefore, darkness is that which makes your eyes blind. That is called darkness. Your eyes cannot see things as they are, where they are. That is why all other animals, birds, and all, by evening itself, they go to their houses, home, where they have their pigeons or birds, everything. We, the human beings, only putting all lights, candle, the other lights, like some tube lights, putting and waking up. Actually, if you know that if you don't have lighting at all, what we will do? We also must go to sleep after 6, 7 o'clock. We have to go to sleep. That's all. Everywhere. Because lights are there, we are making use of. And in night also, even in darkness also, we are working with the help of lights. If without these lights, our eyes cannot function. We never think about this. Hmm? Animals, they never wake up after darkness and they go to their place and sleep. That means our eyes cannot function in darkness. Darkness makes our sense organs, especially eyes, non-functional. Therefore, you cannot see darkness. Really speaking, your eyes are blind at that time. Okay. Now come to this Dashtanta. Just as we human beings cannot see anything in darkness. Anything in darkness, here also Shankaracharya compare this darkness which makes the people's eyes, eyes in the sense here mind. Sarva padarthanam avivekakari tamas swabhavatvat. Darkness is called tamas. And darkness is that in whose presence I do not know anything. Light is that in whose presence I know the objects. Like that here also ignorant people, for them Advaitam is like a night, darkness. They do not know Advaitam. That is the meaning here. Darkness, Nisha, night. Darkness means Dvaitam. Only they know Advaitam, they do not know Sarva Bhutanam. Just as darkness is not perceived by people, Advaita Tattvam is also, Advaita Tattvam means non-dual nature of Brahman, also not perceived by the ignorant people. That is the meaning, exact meaning. Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam. So Advaita Tattvam is like a night, darkness to all ignorant people, just as darkness is not perceived by people. Advaita Tattvam is a non-dual Brahman, also not perceived by the ignorant people. That is the meaning of this line, first quarter of this shloka. And commentators writes Uluka Sthaniyani Sarva Bhutani. Uluka Sthaniyani means that owl. Uluka Sthaniyani, all ignorant people are compared to owl. Because that bird cannot see in the night. In the daytime it cannot see, night it can see. Sorry, daytime it cannot see. That Uluka Sthaniyani Sarva Bhutani. That is the idea presented here. All these birds which are not able to see in the daytime, ignorant people are not able to see Advaitam Brahma. They are not able to understand. See means don't take literally. Okay, whenever I use the word see, we have to understand. This is the first quarter. Then second quarter of the first line is Tasyam Jagrati Jasyam jagarti sanyami. Wise person is aware of that Advaita Tattvam. With regard to the Advaita Tattvam, the wise person is aware of that. Tasyam. In that Advaita Tattvam, which is like darkness for ignorant people, to that Advaita Tattvam, this wise person is awake, aware of, with regard to Advaitam, non-dual Brahman, as what his real nature. Okay, and this Advaita Tattvam he is aware of as his own nature or her own nature, not like a second entity, not like as an object, but his own nature. This is the second quarter. Okay, Tasyam Jagrati Sanyami. That Sanyami word we'll see later. Then third quarter of this verse, second line, first quarter is called third quarter. Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani. Yasyam means Dvaita Prapancha. With regard to Dvaita Prapancha, duality, Nama Rupa Prapancha, Dvaita Prapancha, the world of duality. Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani. Jagrati Bhutani means ignorant people. Ignorant people are awake. It is real for them. It is real for them. Like the people who are walking in the sleep, somnambulism. That somnambulism means they are not totally awake, but they sleepwalking. In the sleep itself, they walk and they talk, they get dream also. That is why Swapnatulya. Swapnatulya Jagrati Bhutani. Ignorant people are awake. Even though it is not real, it is real for them. Let's say dream is a dream. Dream is not a dream for a dreamer in dream. Dream is not a dream in dream for a dreamer. For a dreamer, dream is not a dream in dream. It is waking like for him. Similarly, all ignorant people also, they take this whole world is real because I'm experiencing, they say. It is real for them. That is why he says, Jagrati Bhutani. People are awake to that. Awake to that, Nisha like Dvaitam, they are awake. Ignorant people are awake, real for them. It is real for them. Then fourth quarter. Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani. Sa Nisha Pashyato Muni. To which Dvaitam people are awake. In that Dvaitam Prapancha, Sa Nisha. That is, Sa means here Dvaita Prapancha. Dvaita Prapancha means the world of duality, Nama Rupa Prapancha. You say, I'm experiencing, there is a real, it is real, you say. Shastra says, since you are experiencing, therefore it is not real. Whatever you experience is not real. But worldly people, what they say, I'm tangibly experiencing. How can you say it is not real? Vedanta quite opposite says, you are experiencing, therefore it is not real. So you have to travel a lot. Shastra says you have to travel a lot along with me to understand my statement. Shastra says, Sa Nisha Pashyato Mune. Sa Dvaita Prapancha. Nisha, darkness. Darkness means here Jnani Muni is not giving much importance to Dvaita Prapancha. How much it deserves to give importance, that much only he gives. He ignores. That is the meaning. Nisha, for a Muni, this Dvaita Prapancha, it is not worth to give, worth to dwell upon, think over. It is not that. For him, Pashyataha Munehi, perceiver of Advaita Tattva. Pashyatah Munehe, the perceiver of Advaita Tattvam, for him, Dvaita Prapancha is like darkness. Beautiful presentation, but we have to struggle to understand the words, used like that, Nisha, all those words, not directly using. That's why, because Vinayaka has to think and understand and write. So Vyasacharya gets some time to think about our next shlokas. Hmm? Vinayaka beautifully understands, he's very, very brilliant. So, perceiver of Advaita Tattvam, Pashyatah Munehe, Sa Dvaita Prapanchaha Nisha Bhavati. So, Nisha means darkness. Now, this is about the word meaning of 4 quarters of the sloka. Now, let us come to see that some corollaries. Word to word meaning, learning, and a little bit explanation is not sufficient. Further and further, we have to dwell upon. The morning, one student is telling, after listening to that first session, Swamini, after hearing many times that Nasato Vidyate Bhavaha, today only I have understood more clearly. In spite of hearing many times, same sloka from you I heard, from many places also I heard, but today only I got more clarity. Why? Every time you get clarity. Every time you get more and more clarity as you hear again and again. That's why we dwell upon the slokas again and again, so that the clarity to come, it takes time. We have to spend more, many times we have to hear. That's why I said in the morning it takes 20 years. 20 years in the sense, a person is qualified, understanding the meaning, knowing the meaning is not the question here. One has to see that in one's life. That is true. For that it takes time. It's not learning Shastra, everything you can finish. But Mithyatva Nishchayam of that Jagat, it is not easy thing. Claiming that I am Brahman and doubtless knowledge, all this will take decades. That's what I said. How it can take 20 years? Who will study Shastra? You have to study. Studying Shastra is different. Understanding is different. Later, you have to be that. That is real internalization. Internalization is that claiming that I am Brahman. I cannot be other than Brahman. For Jnani, it is difficult to be something else other than Brahman. That is his problem or her problem. It's not a problem for them. That is why here, a Jnani, Pashyatah Munehe, Dvaita Prapancha is Nishavati, like darkness. Because even though Jnani is moving in this duality world, is not giving much importance to that. He is ignoring that. Ignoring means not neglecting. Ignoring means not giving too much importance to that duality. Nama Rupa Prapancha means what? Not allowing that duality, Nama Rupa Prapancha, to hurt. Not giving importance, not ignoring means what? Here we have to interpret properly. Not allowing the Anatma Mithya Prapancha to hurt, to create guilt, or to create any sorrow, fear, not allowing. That is the idea here. Ignoring means closing eyes. Jnani is one who closes eyes, not seeing the world. If I see the world, I will get a disturbance. Therefore, let me sit always in the meditation. That is not the meaning at all. It is not that meaning. Jnani, in spite of seeing this entire universe, not giving importance to that, ignoring that, it is like darkness for him. What it means? He will not allow it to disturb him. He will not allow the fluctuations that all are going on in that Anatma, Nama Rupa Prapancha, not disturbing. not allowing. There is no admission without permission. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Hmm? No one can. That guilt won't come. Kimahagum sadhuna karavam, kimahagum papamakaravamiti. All this type of repentance, worry about past, worry about future, and guilt about past. All this won't be there. That's why Dvaitam is Nisha for him. This is the depth meaning interpretation we have to do like this. Otherwise, you misinterpret. Suppose Nishan is like darkness. So therefore, all people are enjoying talking, and he is sitting in the one corner and closing the eyes. No, 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 I don't want to interfere in this duality. No. Gnani also enjoys very happily, can see the cricket match, can see the serial, can see whatever they have liking for music or anything. Grihastha Gnani, Sannyasi Gnani. Nothing to do with the interactions. Cognitive change. Pujya Swamiji's word is cognitive change. Just a change in your thinking pattern about yourself. That's all. Job is over. Don't unnecessarily have any some sorts of misinterpretations or what you can misconceptions about Gnani. People may write in books, but don't take those books or all what they have written is right, correct. They write what to do. Therefore, whatever Guru says is very important, that we have to take. Not translations, any other translations and all. If the translations are coming from Parampara Guru, wonderful, excellent. But without studying Shastra, suppose anyone writes because of some Pandityam, some scholarship, they write, they are dangerous. Will mislead by those words. Already lot of samsara problem. To unwind this itself is so much time it will take. And new books you go on reading again and again, and they accumulate in your mind. And real content will never enter into. On scribble board, teacher cannot write. Only clean board, teacher can write. Correct? Like that here also, if our mind is preoccupied with so many notions, I read this book, that book, and this and that and all, so many notions, thoughts are there, pre-assumptions are there. All these will obstruct us, not allowing us to receive the teaching, exact teaching. We will miss the route or track. By that time, you do not know whether you have missed also. That's for clarity to come. You require the words we have to see. That's why I said Nisha, first meaning what I gave, darkness, night, and real darkness, real night is here called Dvaitam. Jnani, Advaita Jnani, the one who knows I am Advaita Atma, that person, for him, Dvaita Prapancha is like a Nisha, darkness, means not having any countability, it doesn't have any validity. That is the meaning. Now, let us go other points. So, Dvaita Prapancha, born of ignorance. This is real, that object is real, everything is real. That thinking comes because of ignorance. Advaitam alone is reality. Seeing Dvaitam as real, you can see Dvaitam, you can see reality. There is no problem. Advaita Prapancha, Anubhava, Dvaita Prapancha, appearance is no problem. Where is the problem? The problem is, where is the problem means here, giving the reality to the Dvaita Prapancha, Nama Rupa Prapancha, giving reality, Satyatva Buddhi is the problem. Satyatva Buddhi in unreal world, that is Mithya Jagat, seeming world, you give reality to that, you will be in trouble. Life is miserable. Life become burdensome, boredom, and so many other complaints will come. That giving Satyatva Buddhi. Jnani does what? Taking the Satyatva Buddhi in that duality. Jnani perceive the world, happily conduct the classes, teaching Vedanta. But Jnani takes out that, Satyatvam from the Mithya Jagat. Whereas Ajnani, who are like Nishachara, night, that natural beings, birds like, they are awake to duality. They give reality to the duality. They give reality to the duality. The night birds are also, they cannot see the daylight. Daylight is like Advaitam. They cannot understand Advaitam. And all the thieves also, they love darkness. They are happy. They are happy. All that Nishachara also, they are happy in the night because they can see that. Like that, Dvaitam, those who are enjoying in the world, they are happy with this duality, which is unreal, which is the cause of all sufferings. They are enjoying in that. Which is actually darkness, tamas represents amangalam. Ajnanam represents, it is amangalam. Darkness in whose presence I cannot see anything. It represents aviveka, it represents tamas, it represents andhakara, it represents amangalam. Daylight represents mangalam, brightness represents mangalam, in whose presence things are known. Similarly, Advaita Jnanam is Mangalam. Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtham Manyante Sa Atma Sa Vigneyaha. Shantam Shivam, that Advaitam. Shivam, Advaita means, Shivam means what? Mangalam. Dvaitam is Amangalam. Giving reality to this duality, Nama Rupa Prapancha, is Amangalam. Why it is Amangalam? How can you say Amangalam, inauspicious? Because it is the cause for sorrow. Giving reality to that duality, Dvaita Prapancha, is the cause for the suffering. Therefore, it is Amangalam. Really speaking, Amangalam only. But whereas Advaitam is Mangalam. So wise person does not give reality to Dvaitam. So that is the idea presented here. Now the Sanyami word will see, wise person perceive Advaitam, ignorant person perceive Dvaitam. Giving perceive means giving reality. That is the meaning. Literal meaning of perceive is seeing. Here, Pashyati is not seeing here. Here, giving reality. Wise people perceive Advaita means wise people give importance, validity to Advaitam Brahma. Ignorant and they ignore Dvaitam. Ignore Dvaitam means they don't give reality to Dvaitam. They don't allow Dvaitam to disturb them. So ignorant people perceive Dvaitam means ignorant people give reality to Dvaitam and ignore what? They ignore Advaitam. Why they ignore? They don't know. They don't know about Advaitam Brahma as their real nature. They have not studied Shastra. After studying itself, many people are not able to understand. What to talk of avivekis, ignorant people. They are all happy with Dvaitam. They are all happy with Dvaitam, as though happiness, not really happy. Nowadays, even night time people are all working. Night time after 1 o'clock, after 12, 1 o'clock working, and daytime they sleep. That is also happening because of jobs are like that nowadays. So Sanyami word is there in the shloka. The one who practice that Shama and Dama. Dayananda Swami says, whose mind and sense organs are with him. That means Shama means mind control. Dhamma means sense control, sense organs control. Because of that only he is able or she is able to come to this Sthita Prajna Sthiti. Otherwise it is not possible. Shama and Dhamma. That's why it's called Sanyami. That is the meaning of Sanyami. One has that mastery along with the knowledge. Along with the knowledge. Mind control, sense control, for what sake? For the sake of knowledge, to get knowledge purpose, they're all already practiced by that Jnani when he was a seeker. Now he is a seer, not a seeker. He is a seer now. Therefore, so along with the knowledge, you have to understand Shama, Dhamma, along with the knowledge. In this context, that is the meaning. Munihi is another word. Two words Acharya Krishna Paramatma used. Munihi means one who sees things clearly. Munihi means not having beard and a lot of hair, not that person, but Munihi means one who sees things clearly. Atma as Atma, Anatma as Anatma. Anatma is not there at all. Pot is a pot, clay is a clay. Morning I showed you, again I will show you. Seeing pot as pot, clay as clay. Is this knowledge? Is this clear knowledge? Clear knowledge only, Swaminian. No, there is no pot with other than clay. There is no pot other than clay. Therefore, this jnani never see anything else other than Atma. Never see anything means what? Whatever appears, it is a mithya. Impermanently existing nama rupa prapancha. Uncountable. Not much, having a reality. It is only seeming appearance, experientially there for some time, it goes away. That's all. That is the meaning here. Muni means the one who has got clear vision. Munihi. What is not known to ignorant people, the Jnani knows that. Their self they do not know, that is Advaita Atma. Knowing Advaitam, Jnani knows Advaita means it is not just as a philosophy he knows. So that is why we don't use Advaita philosophy, Advaita philosopher. That words and all won't work for us. We won't allow those words. Advaitam, I am Advaitam, Brahma. Advaitam word also is not required because Dvaitam, people are using that word, we say Advaitam, non-dual Brahman. Why do you use the non-dual Brahman I am? Because there is a duality, people are talking dual, Dvaitam. Therefore, Advaitam word we have to use. Even I am not Advaitam also. Just being. That's all. So all words only to negate other words we use. Even Sakshi, Advaitam, any word we use, suppose for teaching purpose, we should not take those words or ultimate absolute. Morning I said Brahman is Karanam. How long? Until you understand Karyam is Mithya. Karanam word we use. Finally what we did? We removed that, eliminated that Karanatvam status for Brahman. Brahman is not Karanam at all. Like that, I am Advaitam Brahma. How long I have to say? Dvaitam, as long as there in the mind. That is why sadhakatva buddhi has to go away. I am a sadhaka. I am practicing. I am studying Vedanta. I am studying about Advaitam Brahman. As long as you are a sadhaka studying about Advaita Brahman, you require some sadhana. As long as you have a sadhakatva buddhi, I am a sadhaka. People are very happy to say many times, I'm a seeker of moksha. How long you are going to be a seeker? Seeker, you remove the K, that is seer. Then is siddha. I am no more a sadhaka. After studying Shastra, I recognize I was Atma, I am Atma, I ever will be Atma. This is Siddha Swarupam. I have not accomplished any new status. Moksha is not a status I have accomplished in so and so particular time. Liberation is not have attained in so and so particular time. Moksha is not a state of particular time, particular status. No. Moksha means dropping the notion that I am not Brahman, dropping that notion. Dropping the notion that I am the body-mind complex. Dropping all wrong notions about myself. That is called sadhakatva buddhi. I have to drop. After doing some sadhana, I have to drop sadhakatva buddhi. Then what buddhi will be there? Aham siddha atma. Ever the atma, I mistook myself for some time, or maybe janmas. I mistook myself as so and so, wife, husband, father, mother, brother. The roles, I have given reality to the roles. I have rolled in the roles. Roles are not real. Vesham is not real. Veshi is real. But what happened because of ajnana, ignorance? Vesham has become real. Then Veshi has lost sight of. That is the cause for suffering. So Vesham is cultifiable. Cultifiable means what? You can remove. So Jnani sees Dvaitam as avidya karyam. It is because of ignorance. As long as ignorance is this, there the Dvaita Prapancha appears as real. For Jnani, Dvaita Prapancha appears, but it is not real. Who is intelligent now, you tell me. So whatever is avidya karyam is mithya. Since the whole universe, Namarupa Prapancha, Dvaita Prapancha is the product of ignorance. Avidya Karya means a product of ignorance. Therefore, it is mithya. So whatever is created, product of avidya, ignorance, it need not be validated. It need not be validated. How? Like a dream. Just as your dream, are you validating your dream objects after waking up? No, none of us are validating our dream. Similarly, Jnani, Pashyataha Muni, Sanyami, never validate the Vyavaharika Anubhava, Vyavaharika Nama Rupa Prapancha, making use of it, but not giving utmost important, more than that what it deserves. That is the capacity Jnani achieve after knowledge. With that, they revel in that Atmananda. The reveling in Atmananda, I mean also a word we use. There is no reveling and all. Even reveling also comes to suppose Varaha, Variyan, Varishtaha, enjoying, all come under Anubhavananda only. Pratibimba Ananda only. Therefore, we are not interested in Pratibimba Ananda. Remain as being. That's all. So all words, all jugglery, Maya. Words, people are carried away by the words. The scholarship is one of the biggest obstacle also sometimes. Many times. Shabdajalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmana Karakam, Shankaracharya said. Some extent, the knowledge is required in Vyakaranam. Some subjects you require for understanding. So scholarship alone should not be the criterion. then it becomes another obstacle. So that Vidyananda, Vidyanande Brahmananda, Yoganande Brahmananda, like that there are so many Anandas. Okay, people convert. Now let us come to further analysis. Now this shloka word you have understood, shloka meaning, and what is final meaning? Ignorant people are not aware of Advaitam. For them it is like darkness. They cannot see the Advaita Tattvam, they cannot understand. Ignorant people. Whatever ignorant people are awake to that Dvaitam, Sanyami, Munihi, Jnani, he is ignorant. Ignorant means he will not give Satyatvam. Ignorant people give Satyatvam to duality, Jagat. Wise person won't give Satyatvam to this duality, Jagat. So this is 4 statements you can take. What are the 4 statements? Now, Jnani. Now I'll give you the Anvaya Shloka, then I will tell you that 4 statements. Ya Sarva Bhutanam Nisha Bhavati. After giving Anvaya, I will give some analysis also. Ya Sarva Bhutanam Nisha Bhavati. Tasyam Sanyami Jagrati. Full stop. Yasyam Bhutani Jagrati. Sa Pashyatah Munehe Nisha Bhavati. Bhavati we have to supply. So, that Jnani is always awake to Advaitam. Ajnani is awake to Dvaitam. Jnani ignores Dvaitam. Ajnani awake to Dvaitam. 4 statements. Once again I'll repeat. Jnani, wise person, awake to Advaitam. Ignorant person, awake to Dvaitam. Jnani is awakened to Advaitam, non-dual Brahman. Ajnani awake to Dvaitam. Third statement, Jnani ignores Dvaitam. Ajnani ignores Advaitam. Jnani ignores Dvaitam. Ajnani ignores Advaitam. Because Ajnani do not know what is Advaitam Brahma. These are the 4 statements. Now let us go to another analysis. That is, after getting knowledge that karma, as long as you live, one has to do some karma, rituals and all, upasana. Otherwise this jnana, they will forget. Further, after knowledge also, one has to do karma. Suppose they say, this samuchayavadi, karmavadis, they say, jnana karma samuchayavadis, they talk. Here Shankaracharya says that is not possible. Jnani is not eligible. His mindset is different. So therefore in Brihadaranyakam also it is said, Purvapakshi asks a question. Here argument is this. If you remove karma, pratyavaya papam comes. Purvapakshi's question. There is a Shastra Vidhi to remove the karma. Spiritual sadhakas also must follow some sort of karma. Without Shastra permission, they should not drop the karma. Shastra Vidhi is there. For that, Jabala Upanishad says, there is no Vidhi when a person come to Advaita Jnana. Advaita Jnana. What is that? Mantra says, ब्रह्मचर्यं समाप्य गृही भवेत्, गृही भूत्वा वनी भवेत्, वनी भूत्वा प्रव्रजेत्. So first brahmacharya ashrama, complete it, come to some grihastha ashrama, then complete it, then vanaprastha, then sannyasa. Like this way you can come to take a renunciation. That renunciation is possible. Yediva, otherwise, itaratha, yadahareva vidajet, tadahareva pravrajet. Whenever you want to withdraw from this world of duality, I don't want this world of duality, I don't want to spend my time, you want to nivritti, you want to take, you can, at that time itself you can take sannyasa, that is permitted. Shastra itself permits that. For that there is no any other sadhana is required. Sadhana is not required for that. Why? Further analysis Acharya does. Pramanam is relevant as long as pramata is there. Pramanam, Shastra Pramanam, Vidhi Nishedha, Shastra Pramanam is relevant. How long? As long as I, the pramata, remain. Once Jnani attain that Advaita Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam, claim that I am Brahman, the pramata recedes. Pramatritvam will go away. I am the pramata, I am the karta, I am the doer, I want to get some phalam. That pramata is not there. Once pramata is not there, pramanam becomes irrelevant. Pramata is there, prameyam, pramanam, all are relevant. When pramata himself or herself withdrawn, why? How he withdrawn or she has withdrawn? Because pramata is a mithya status. Only for vyavahara it is given. Pramata status is not my real nature. I have falsified that. Once I falsify my pramatritvam, pramata status, Shastra silently withdraw from that person. I am not going to stand in front of you. Who pramanam? Which pramanam? Shastra pramanam. What type of Shastra pramanam? Vidhi nishedha rupa Shastra pramanam. You have to do nididhyasanam like this, you have to sit like this. No. Once you get jnanam, shravanam dwara jnanam you attain, mananam nididhyasanam your sadhana, that only for doubtless knowledge, samshaya rahita jnanam sake you can do mananam. For viparya nivrityartham, viparita jnana nivrityartham, you can do nididhyasanam. There is no any vidhi nishedhas there. Jnanam doesn't require any vidhi nishedha. Only karma. Because in jnanam there is no pramata. After attaining sthita prajna, that state of mind, pramata is irrelevant, redundant. Once pramata is not there, there is no karma, there is no vidhi nishedha. Pramanam itself says you don't require. Because you have gone beyond pramatritvam status. Therefore, I, the pramanam, is not relevant for you, Shastra says. That is why in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Kahola Brahmanam says, 3rd chapter, 6th Brahmanam, etam vai tam atmanam viditva brahmanaha tyaktaishanaya putraishanayascha vittaishanayascha vyuthaya bhikshacharyam charanti. Whether you can go to bhikshacharyam, sannyasa or not, even grihastha jnani, he can stay at home and do karma also. That karma is not a sadhanam for him. A jnani, even he or she does karma. A grihastha jnani, not a sannyasi, suppose they perform some karma, some rituals and doing other duties. It is a karma abhasa. It is for loka sangraha. Not that they want something out of it, that karma, because there is no abhimana. Therefore, pramatritvam is not there, kartrutvam is not there. Is it compulsory for him to sit quietly? And Shastra says, your wish, you want to sit quietly, you sit. Otherwise, you want to be busy, you can be busy. If you want to serve society, you can serve. Whatever you want, you can do. Ko vidhi ko nishedha. Tatra ekatvam anupashyatah. Upanishad says. That's why no rules and regulations. Because Jnani's life is spontaneously in rules and regulations only, he cannot go against dharma. Because of that only he became or she became a Jnani. After attaining Jnanam, falling again into samsara, this and all, nothing will happen. People have doubted. Some Purvapakshis question also. After getting Jnana, you may forget your real nature, you may slip off, you may strip out, all these things. If they strip off and they fall down, it is not a Jnanam at all. Shastra never considered it as a Jnanam. So once the knowledge comes, that's all. Over. Job is over. Now, another point is, Shastram is not Pramanam. Pramana, Shastra Pramanam is, Shastra is Pramanam. As long as, until you get Jnanam, it is Pramanam. After getting knowledge, this Shastra Pramanam, what it does now. This Pramanam, what the point I want to say, once a Shastra is Apramanam for a Jnani, that Jnani, it is not a Jnapakam, any Pramanam, that is the point I want to tell you. It is not a Jnapakam. Sorry, it is Pramanam is only a Jnapakam. It is a revealer of a thing, that's all. It is not a Prerakam to do. Just like, for example, I will give you, that example is this. Ice reveal water. This is water. Ice give the knowledge. Ice are pramanam. They reveal the object, that is water. This is water. That's all. Ice will not compel me to drink the water. Ice job is over. Pramanam job is only to reveal the object. After that, whether to drink that water, if I am thirsty, I drink. If I have desire to drink, I drink. So kama alone is prerakam, Acharya says. That kama is not there in Jnani, Atma Jnani. What to desire? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha sthita prajnasya dochyate. So kama, he has not dropped. Kama left him. He need not leave the kama. Once Atma Jnanam comes, Pramatritvam is falsified, Kartrutvam is falsified, Abhimana is not there, that kama leaves that Jnani. Renunciation of kama is not required. Once you get Jnanam, kama goes as it is, by itself. He need not or she need not leave the kama. Once a desire is not there, Pramanam is only, that is Jnapakam. Shastra is only Jnapakam. It is not creating any desire. Kama is only because of ignorance. So Kama eva pravartakam. Since Jnani, Advaita Jnani, I am using that word, there is no Advaita Jnani. Jnani means Advaita Jnani only. There is no Dvaita Jnani, Advaita Jnani like that. Advaita Jnanam alone is Jnanam. Dvaita Jnanam is as good as ignorance. Okay. So, Kama eva pravartakam. This Jnani, wise person, Munihi, Sanyami, Sthita Prajnaha, he is not having any Kama. Kama left from him. Because of that tremendous renunciation, there is no second thing, real thing to desire. All are mithya, how he or she can desire. Kama eva pravartakam. Since kama is not there, there is no any pravartana in that. So pramana is only jnapakam. Kama alone is pravartakam. Since he is not having kama, he need not do anything. There is no need of any karma for jnani. He can remain or she can remain as Atma. That's all. Therefore, Yanisha Sarvabhutanam, which Dvaitam is Yanisha Sarvabhutanam, which Advaitam is like darkness for all ignorant people. Yanisha Sarvabhutanam. Tasyam, in that Advaitam, Jnani is Sanyami Jagrati, is awake to that. Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani, in which Dvaitam, people are awake, so busy, and giving reality into that. Tasyam, Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani, Tasyam, Pashyatha Munehe Nisha Bhavati. Sa Nisha Pashyato Munehe. It is like darkness for a wise person. So both are diagonally opposite. One is in Advaitam, one is in Dvaitam. Dvaitam is relevant for ignorant people. Advaitam alone is relevant for wise people. So ignorant people do not know Advaitam. Wise person knows Dvaitam as unreal. Ignorant people do not know Advaitam. Whereas Jnani, Sanyami, Muni knows, Knows, knows what? Dvaitam as mithya, unreal. It is swapna tulyam, dream-like. Therefore, this sloka is one of the beautiful Granthi sloka and comes in Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. Because of Arjuna's question, oh Arjuna, Jnani sees Advaitam as his or her nature. Hey Arjuna, Jnani ignores Dvaitam. To which Dvaitam? Ignorant people are all very much enamored. This is the characteristics of, one of the characteristics of a Jnani Sthita Prajna. Hey Arjuna. So 18 verses is just like a flow, pravaha, Lord Krishna communicate. With this, I conclude this second Granthi Shloka, Yanisha Sarva Bhutanam, which occurs in this second chapter in the context of Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. Hari. I conclude with Shanti Patha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Mataji, thank you so much for giving us this wonderful knowledge. We have two questions. I would read them out to you.
Okay.
So the first question is, why does Brahman manifest itself in the first place?
First place in the sense? They ask.
Yeah, why did it manifest at all? That is the question.
Brahman never deliberately manifests. See, sun, for example, sun is not illumining the world. Sun is not doing the job of illumination. In the presence of sun, earth is illumined. Sun is not doing the job of illumination. Like that, here also, Brahman is not manifesting. In the presence of Brahman, matter is manifesting. Since Brahman is all-pervading, in that matter also, Brahman is available as existence principle in all outer world, and available in the form of consciousness in human beings, living beings. So he's manifesting in the sense it's not a job done by Brahman. Sakshi, the Sannidhya Matrena, by mere presence of Brahman, matter is getting modifications.
Wonderful, Swamiji. Thank you so much. The next question is, this is a two-part question. What is the meaning of Kutastha and what is the difference between Kutastha and Ishvara?
Kutastha, we say the one in this body, we use the word Kutastha. Kuta means the one who is steady, firm, not changing. In 13th chapter, Acharya gives different meanings for Kutastha. Kutam means what? That which is steady, firm, never change. So though Brahman is also called Kutastha, never change, changeless one. That is one meaning. Another meaning of Kuta means Maya. Maya is also called Kuta, that which does a lot of culprit, no Maya only. So that is also another meaning for Maya, Kutastham. So the Kutastha word has got different meanings in different context. So Ishvara definition is this much. Ishvara means Brahman plus Maya, mixture alone is called Ishvara. This much if we understand enough. Ishvara is Brahman plus Maya mixture. Ishvara. Pure Brahman cannot be called as Ishvara. Pure Maya cannot be called as Ishvara. Both together only called Ishvara.
Okay, Machaji. Thank you so much. Those were the questions for this session. And viewers, tomorrow again in the morning and evening at the same time, we have two more sessions wherein Mataji will be taking up two more Grantha Shlokas. Please tune into the session. If you have not registered, please join these wonderful sessions that are going on for tomorrow's session. And with this, we will conclude another session of Weekend with Wisdom. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha.